John Kincade Show on 97.5, The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Okay, the 49ers appeared to be without their starting running back, one of their starting linebackers, and their two starting cornerbacks on Sunday versus the Eagles. Week 1 was not kind to them. And honestly, I was leaning towards a loss all week long, a tough loss, because I personally still have the nagging feeling in my head that the euphoria over the win in Atlanta was being a bit overblown. But as I saw how sloppy the 49ers were last week, and after spending another week on the road away from their families, even though they're in a luxury resort in West Virginia, and seeing that they turned it over 3 times last week, to hell with it all. The Eagles' mistakes, I believe, will continue, but I also believe they're going to make enough plays to squeak out a 27-24 win on Sunday afternoon in the home opener, where it is supposed to be 81 degrees, beautifully sunny, with a cool breeze at 5 miles an hour in the air. A cool breeze. Sometimes it's when you play a team that counts. Let me make sure that I say this correctly. I think the 49ers are the better team. But with that many injuries, they won't be the better team on Sunday. Eagles squeak out a victory, 27-24. We don't make you wait on Fridays. We get right to it, and then we talk about it throughout the course of the show. So I turn the floor over to my partner, Bob Cooney. And Bob, last week you were a little bit of a doubter going into the Atlanta game. Not a big doubter, but a little bit of a doubter. Where do you fall this week?
Yeah, I try to keep fandom out of it and hope out of it and all of that stuff and look at it logically. Logically, a week ago today, if we would have thought the Eagles had a chance to beat the San Francisco 49ers, we would have all laughed at ourselves.
I would have.
Yeah, and most people out there that we've talked to and that follow this football team, same thing. Now you get a really good week 1 performance, which they had, against a really bad team, which Atlanta is, and your level of expectations grow. I don't think they can grow with me to the point of predicting a win. I like what I saw. I really do. I really don't think Atlanta is all that good. I think the San Francisco defense is good. Kyle Shanahan is going to key, and the defense, D'Amico Ryan, they're going to key on confusing Jalen Hurts. I'm convinced of that. And they're going to go after Rich Gannon's defense in probably ways that...
Jonathan Gannon, I
would say Rich. Jonathan
Rich
Gannon's
loves the defense, though.
Well, So I do think it's going to be a good game. I do think we're going to come away on Monday liking what the Eagles did, as we are going to most weekends. But I just don't think there's enough firepower there on both sides of the ball. So I'm going to go with a 30-27 San Francisco win.
Jamie Lynch.
I wanted to say that they're going to win. I really did. I just think San Fran's going to edge them out a little bit. I think it's going to be a hard-fought game. I think we'll be okay on Monday. I think we'll be impressed with the effort they put forth. But I just see San Fran edging it out, 27-24.
So we go same score. You just have it the opposite way.
Yeah. But let me say,
4 starters out.
Let me say, it will not shock me in the slightest if the Eagles win this game. I think they have a lot going in their favor. Part of that is being a 3-point home dog on a home opener. I like that energy, and I think the team, like I said last week, I think they're up for tasks in front of them this year. So it wouldn't shock me at all if the Eagles pull this off.
Remember last year, 48% of home dogs won.
Yeah.
So, covered.
Yeah.
And around, they tend to win the game around 35% of the time, 40% of the time.
Pretty good odds.
So it's pretty good. Pat, where are you falling?
I agree with everything everyone said so far. Really good points. Right, everybody involved.
Well, you know what's weird is we all pretty much are saying the same thing, but I just edged it to an Eagle victory.
Yeah, you're alone on this one.
Okay.
I think the 49ers score a late touchdown, and they end up winning, what did I write down, 34-26.
Okay.
Which is 8 points for all those people doing math out there. I think there's a missed extra point by the kicker.
Everybody's on Jake Elliott. Everybody's like picking on Jake Elliott here.
I mean, picking. It's
so I will be on the island this weekend and hopefully it won't be Gilligan's. 4 starters to me is too much to overcome on the road.
It's a lot.
For a game that, if you looked at it on what they're basing on, the San Francisco 49ers do not play clean. And if there was ever a time when the Eagles could potentially, just last week, Detroit found their way to 3 footballs. And I have to believe there will be a couple gifts from the 49ers, a couple short fields, a couple opportunities. They don't play clean enough. And it's one of the things that drives Kyle Shanahan. A buddy of mine, Damon Bruce, out in San Francisco, who does sports radio out there, says that's why everybody wants him gone, because they don't feel that they play clean games with him. That Jimmy Garoppolo turns it over too much. A 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio is not good enough.
No, it's not.
Not for a big quarterback. Most go 3, 3.5, 4.
Yeah,
and it's not good enough.
And Verrett being out is
it's huge.
Yeah.
Plus a line. You get a starting linebacker
Mosley's out.
By the way, both your corners are out. So you're going to backup corners.
Yeah.
If Jalen Hurts ever had a day when he doesn't have to, not doesn't have to worry. It's a completely different team.
I have visions of Devontae having a big day in my head.
When your defense is that good, and I think the defense is that good with San Fran, Bob, you take 11 starters that are a really, really good unit, and you take 3 of them out of the mix?
Yeah, it's tough.
And 2 of them are in the defensive backfield.
Yeah, it's tough. The advantage, or not the advantage, but the good thing for San Francisco is it is a rookie quarterback who is throwing, so he doesn't know what he hasn't seen, right? So it'll be a new look for them. It'll be different. I think they're going to try to confuse Jalen Hurts. I really do. I think there's going to be different coverages, different things that maybe he didn't see in that first game against Atlanta. Steichen talked about this week about how Atlanta basically took away the deep game and let him have things underneath. And Hurts did a great job of recognizing it, not forcing it, and taking what was given to him. So it's going to be that battle of that chess match between coaches, among coaches, about what's going to happen on both sides of the ball. As I said before, when you had a Matt Ryan, although I was wrong on that one, I just think experience may win out in this one.
I'm so much less concerned about facing Jimmy Garoppolo than I am facing Matt Ryan. It's night and day to me. But the
they have a better line.
He's going to have much better protection.
Yeah.
But I'm not expecting Jimmy Garoppolo to be able to just feel extremely comfortable and carve them up.
No, look, and Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and Brandon Ayuk, who's kind of coming off an injury, kind of in Shanahan's doghouse a little bit. They're young and fast, and they got some weapons. But I thought Slay and Nelson settled in pretty nicely last Sunday, albeit, Matt Ryan didn't have all the time in the world to get balls off, to his receivers. But, I thought they played pretty well.
It's funny you say night and day between Matt Ryan and Jimmy Garoppolo. How about night and day between Arthur Smith and Kyle Shanahan?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
As much as I hate Shanahan, and I do, can't stand him.
I heard
he's incredible.
Arthur Smith was just so in over his head last week. It was ridiculous. The things that worked, he didn't go back to. That was crazy. Kyle Shanahan, maybe his offensive genius, in air quotes, will propel Garoppolo to look way better than anything Arthur Smith could do to help Matt Ryan.
I am a little shocked that I'm on an island, though.
I was close.
Because
I was
the thing
close.
was, all week long I was absolutely opening this show today with a loss. And I don't know if you ever do the podcast networks. I always go to the podcasts that cover the teams and everything, and I'll just listen to them. Stats Guerrera does one for San Francisco, does some really, really good work for them. And I listen to podcasts, and they're like, the defense was there. They described it as, these are the guys who cover the 49ers on a weekly basis. The defense was in shambles, they said last Sunday. And now they have 2 guys who were playing while they were in shambles that are not going to be playing.
Good.
And when I heard in shambles, it just sort of shook me up. They're very down on what they saw.
Awesome. I hope it continues. I hope I'm wrong.
No, I hope you're. I hope you're.
We all hope.
I hope you're right.
I hope
John,
you're absolutely right.
You're not going to hear this very often. I hope you're right.
Well, the weird thing is that you and I are doing the same score, and it's just.
I think it's going to be a good game.
And I believe I believe going into the fourth quarter, both of us are going to have a chance to be right, and it's going to just come down to one of those situations. Can the Eagles make the big stop? Can they make the big defensive stop if they have to?
Or get a turnover.
I mean, that's what's going to be. That's what's going to be necessary.
The John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.